Alright, Victorum Gaming fans and Judge Dredd fans, we are back with another unboxing. So we have the new specialist judges for you guys today. So you know the routine. We're going to take a look at these guys. We're going to get this box open up, everything sorted out for you, and then we will take a look. So as we can see on the back here with these guys, so we get a Mechanismo Mark Ii. One of the judges wearing a rad cloak, which is pretty cool. Just a generic side judge, tech judge, and med judge. So basically, as it says, all the specialists. So 5 minis. 7 unit cards, and then 2 armory cards, and yeah, that's basically everything there. So we'll get this open for you guys, and we'll be back. Alright, everybody, we got everything opened up for you, and there's quite a bit of stuff in this small box. So on to the models first here. So we've got our Mechanismo Mark II, which is just a big beast, as you can kind of see the size difference here between the regular judges. This guy's actually going to be on this bigger base to represent that too, so just absolutely chunky here. And again, lots of solid detail there. And again, this is all that Warlord resin. Everything's basically one piece in this kit except for the Med Judge, but we'll show him in just a second. This is the side judge. He's got that little ponytail in the back. And just a little bit of flash in the kit, not much. So again, people worrying about Warlord resin being like fine cast, it's not been my experience so far, so this is all pretty good, and really haven't had any deformities whatsoever here, so just a little bit of flash. This is that judge with the rad cloak, which really looks just badass. Can't wait to paint that. We got a tech judge here, so let's get focused in on that. And again, holding some sort of device or whatever, but again, looks pretty sweet overall here. And then finally the Med Judge is basically a 2-piece affair here. So torso and upper body's got that med kit there. Little necklace or some sort of badge there as well. Backside, another X there, or cross. And then the bases too, and it's kind of neat, these new, same old Warlord round bases, except the middle parts now have kind of like a little bit of a raised bit. They give you 3 extra cards here, which basically you would already have if you bought just the regular Judges box, but another Senior, Veteran, and Generic Judge, so we're not going to go over those again just because we've already shown those in a different video, so check out that Judge unboxing there. And then we get to the actual new stuff in the kit, so the Mechanismo Mark II. What is this bad boy packing here? So some solid stats there. Obviously the big one to see is that there's a 0 for evade, so really being as big and probably slow as this thing really kind of is, not really going to be so good at that, but we'll run you 18 points as well. But weapons and equipment's pretty solid here. So it's got a Judgment Bringer hand cannon, power 5, decent range, kind of a mid-range piece, typical modifiers there, and access to some special rounds. Again, I love that in this game Warlord just makes the page references basically if you need it. So super easy to look things up until you basically get them memorized. It's got its own little Mechanismo rockets, very short range, but again, very solid on the power level, especially at 6 inches, up to 6 inches. Modifier of +2 is pretty nasty, and a 3-inch blast. So, you know, if you can get the bad boys or the bad guys to bunch up here and land some shots, it's going to be pretty painful for them. And also a day stick as well. So, pretty solid there. Flipping over to the back side, we've got the special rules for it, and again, another awesome page reference, but robot. So for all their sophistication, Mechanismo units are still robots, so they only generate normal action chips. You can't do star chips with them, despite being cool 4. They also are unaffected by psi powers, which is a key thing to consider there. And then respect the machine law. Whenever a Mechanismo unit activates, they can immediately attempt to intimidate all opposing models that are within line of sight and within 8 of the Mechanismo without using an action. To determine the effect, take a cool test, and if it's passed, one model within range is pinned for each 2000 AD symbol rolled. And it's got, basically it can repair itself too, so is capable of rapid and highly effective self-repairs in the field, so if it's injured and uses the hunker down double action, it can potentially remove all injury markers if enough successes are rolled, which is just kind of bonkers. So this thing already is packing very solid defense here, and basically, you know, it can take some damage, so, but being able to remove all that would just really set the enemy back. So this thing can definitely outlast enemies there. Moving on to the Med Judge, was pretty cool. You got basically a couple different levels to field there, and you can see the stats. So again, just average level. So basically regular Judge, which is still really good. It's just so, you know, don't expect the medic to necessarily, or Med Judge necessarily be like strictly frontline, you probably want to hang back a little bit with them just to be able to make more use of their med ability. You wouldn't want them to get taken out early, but you see the points levels there as well and the stats. And really the main difference, just for 2 extra points, you have that extra point of health, really. So it's basically not much of a difference, but if you do have the points to spare, that might be worth it. Med Judge special rules. So again, it's got basically Combat Medic, which you'll see on the pages listed there, typical Judge rules as well, and then the typical Judge equipment. We move on to the Side Judge. So different levels there, and at their respective point breakdowns, again, bumping it up to Street Judge really definitely brings you some more stat increases over the other 2 there. And on the back side, so you have these psi rules basically. So and that comes with psionic control, precog, mind probe, and then you can choose again from basically more of the generic judge rules there. And moving on, the final specialist judge here is the tech judge at regular and rookie levels there, and again the respective stats and points. And we go on to the back. So basically they have the armorer skill, again, listed on the respective points there, and then beyond that, basically just like a judge, your everyday judge. So the other thing that you get in the kit here to round things out, again, it's always nice when you can add more equipment to your list. So part of the fun of, I guess, sort of collecting the factions in this game also is just getting more access to these cards. And if you're playing multiple factions, then obviously there's more uses there. But a riot shield, so +1 resists, but you can't take sprint or double charge, sprint or charge double actions, and basically just stays in play. And then side defenses is really cool too. So basically it's a free reaction and stays in play, but you get to reroll all cool tests against psi skills. So pretty nifty stuff there. So and again, that's just a couple army cards, no big med cards in here. But definitely a kit well worth picking up, at least certainly one of, just to get access to the specialist judges here. Depending on the size of your game and how much you want to really specialize, you might, depending on the models again, and these are pretty specific as to what they are. You might at some point pick up a second one just to, if you wanted to run multiple of the Mechanismos or, multiples of any of the other specialists. So certainly things to consider there. And, again, in that typical range for all the expansion boxes for the game. I think it's in that $24 to basically $32 range or so. So not a bad pickup at all, especially for 5 bottles. And especially with one of them being that bigger guy here. So definitely can recommend that, again, and especially if you're playing judges. This, along with the regular judges box, and if you have the 2 from the starters, certainly rounds out your collection there. And obviously if you pick up any of the specialists like Dredd, of course, which, if you're playing judges and you're not picking up Dredd for the Judge Dredd minigame, something's kind of weird. Anderson, of course, is really great too, sort of like the premier psi judge. So, if you want to build like a whole psi focused list, that could be kind of interesting too. And yeah. And then, that's basically, everything that you get in here. So a fair bit of cards. Again, a couple upgrades. So well worth the price here. Definitely check it out if you're considering judges at all. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more down the road that we'll get on top of that. But again, another great addition to the range and specifically the judge faction. So hope you guys enjoyed our little tour here. If you could, give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. And then stay tuned for more Judge Dredd content. We do have some battle reports coming soon for you guys. So hopefully those will be out soon. Take care.